Hi, my name is Janice and I hope you're all doing well. In my last video, I was about to hop on a flight to get to Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about the top things to know before coming to Singapore. Now let's get the most important one out of the way first. Actually getting into Singapore. What I'm about to say is very Australian centric. If you're an Australian passport holder and your visit to Singapore for business or tourism isn't over 90 days, you actually don't need a visa. So as long as you have a valid passport, you're good to go. I've put a link in my description to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Singapore and you can head on over to check for your specific requirements. Okay, now that you're in the country, majority of Singaporeans speak perfect English. Throughout my entire trip in Singapore, I got on fine speaking in English. A couple of times when I was at hawker centres, some of the aunties and uncles spoke to me in Mandarin, which I could speak a little bit of, it's a bit rusty, but yeah, for the most part, English is perfectly okay. Now, before you leave the airport, I want to talk about SIM cards. I actually pre-bought my SIM card prior to going to Singapore. I bought an $18 SIM card from Singtel, which has 100 gigs of data and a 7-day validity. It comes with a bunch of additional benefits like discounts on Sentosa attractions and exclusive dining benefits, all of which I didn't actually use. But what I did find really helpful was the fact that the card where the SIM card came in doubles as an Easy Link card, which I could use to take public transport in Singapore. So not only do you save on the cost of an Easy Link card, which is $5, the card itself also comes with $3 of stored value. Given the Easy Link card was something that I had to buy anyway, I essentially paid $10 for my 100 gig SIM card, which I thought was pretty good value. And to make it even more convenient, there are kiosks located within the airport so you can pick up your SIM card right after you get out of the restricted immigration area. The extensive rail network that is the MRT means that most of Singapore's attractions are within walking distance to an MRT station. When you're out and about, take note of signs which will point you into the direction of your closest MRT station. And there we have it. We have just arrived at Bugis MRT station. I really hope that I'm pronouncing this correct. The MRT is one of the easiest modes of transport to get around Singapore, and getting out of the airport is no exception. Changi Airport has its own MRT station, and if you want to check out how much it costs to get from Changi Airport station to the MRT station that is closest to your accommodation, check out the MRT Fare calculator, which I've linked in my description. The cost of Singapore's public transport system is, in my opinion, very affordable. A 2-stop trip from Bugis to Little India was only 83 cents. And a trip from Chinatown to Changi Airport, which was a 17-stop journey and took just under an hour, that costed $1.30. It's usually $1.80, but I got a 50-cent discount because I entered the station before 7:45 a.m. on a weekday, which is good to know. To travel on the MRT, you do need an Easy Link card. I already had mine because it was part of the SIM card that I bought. And this also doubles up as an Easy Link card, so I didn't actually have to pay for the deposit for my Easy Link card, and it came with a stored value of $3. But to get one, you can easily get one at any MRT station, and to top up your card, you can easily do that at any MRT station as well. The minimum top-up amount is $10. Okay, now getting cash in Singapore. In Sydney, I rarely ever carry cash. I use my credit card for everything. But in Singapore, cash does come in handy, especially at places like hawker stores where they only take cash. And the way that I got Singaporean cash was through the ATMs that were located at the airport. This is probably another Australian-centric tip, but I used my ING debit card to grab cash out. As long as you follow ING's monthly rules, you can take cash out from any ATM in the world without having to pay any ATM fees or any international ATM fees. So as you can see in my screenshot, they refunded my ATM fee and also my international ATM withdrawal fee. And what I found using the ING debit card was that their exchange rate was really close to the forex rate. Having said that, this probably isn't applicable to every one of you watching, but if you do know another place in Singapore that offers a really good exchange rate, let us know in the comments below. And while we're on the topic of money, know that tipping isn't customary in Singapore, but a lot of restaurants and cafes do impose a 10% goods and services tax. And speaking of food, make sure you don't miss out on the amazing local cuisine in Singapore. The best way to eat cheap and delicious eats is to head on over to one of Singapore's many hawker centres. This is the place where majority of Singaporeans grab quick and delicious meals at a low cost.
I have just gotten myself a char siu rice, so it's a barbecue pork on rice for $3.50.
In fact, the food at hawker centres are so amazing that it is actually home to the cheapest Michelin star meal in the world. The soya chicken rice from Hawker Chan was amazing, but make sure you give everything else a go too. Most dishes are $5 or less, and it's like eating a home-cooked meal away from home.
I just also got myself a pork, carrot and corn soup. When I have it at home, it's always like really good for like my throat. And when I saw it, I was like, I have to have it. I cannot wait to try it, and I really hope that it's as good as I have it at home. But regardless, like this is just a really nice way to end a meal. It's not bad at all. It's a tad bit saltier than how I usually have it, but other than that, it's really delicious. I'm sort of tempted to get a bowl of rice because why not? And I'm hungry, but I already had a giant bowl just then, so maybe not.
And one thing that I've come to learn is that tissues are actually used as a placeholder to hold your seats. When I first went to a hawker centre, I noticed that there were little packets of tissues like scattered on tables all around the centre, and I thought, wow, how considerate. They offer complimentary tissues. And so I took the tissue and I sat down. And as I started to eat, I started to notice people putting a pack of tissue down, leaving, and then coming back with like a tray of food. And soon enough, the lady who put her tissue down came back and she looked at me and she was like, what are you doing? So know that you can use a tissue packet to stake your claim on a seat, but by the same token, know that you should not disturb someone else's pack of tissues. Okay, another thing that I really need to talk about is the Singapore airport. The Singapore airport has been voted the best in the world for several consecutive years, and it's not hard to see why. Singapore's new jewel Changi opened in April 2019 and has the world's tallest indoor waterfall. If you want to check this out, please know that Jewel Changi is not located in the restricted transit area. It is open to the public. Anyone can visit. You can watch an entire video of my experience with Jewel Changi right here. Okay, now the weather in Singapore. The weather in Singapore is mostly hot and humid with temperatures averaging around 25 to 33. Singapore does rain quite a bit. In fact, it rained an average of 167 days per year. I don't know that off by heart, I just checked Google. What I'd suggest you do is to always have a light rain jacket and a hand towel with you. The jacket isn't just for when it rains, but also when you enter really well air-conditioned places like shopping centers. I find that there is such a big discrepancy in temperatures between, indoor shopping centers and the outside. It's such an easy way to get sick. So what happens when you get sick as a tourist in Singapore? Well, I'm glad you asked.
This is the third day of me being pretty sick in Singapore. I'm actually now heading to the hospital. Not because I don't want you to think I'm overreacting or anything, but Sunday today, so none of the clinics are open, and tomorrow I'm actually flying to Vietnam, so I don't want, just in case I have a fever, I just want to get that down, because I know that the borders are quite strict in terms of if you have a fever you can't I don't know. I don't even know, but I just want to make sure I'm better for tomorrow when I fly. Hello.
Where you like to go?
Can I please go to Raffles Hospital?
You want to go to Raffles Hospital?
Yeah. I asked the receptionist and they said that the clinics aren't open in Singapore on weekends.
Yeah.
So I have to go to a hospital.
Yes, correct. Yes. But friendly tell you, it's not cheap, huh?
Oh, really?
It's not cheap. But I don't know the comparison about other country. Some people say that it's still cheap in Singapore.
Is all private not cheap?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, medical clinics aren't open on weekends, which is why I had to go to the hospital. I had the option of going to A&E or just the general clinic in the hospital. The A&E section would be a lot faster, but also a lot more expensive.
So I've just arrived at Raffles Hospital and I'm gonna go see the GP. They were like, you can go to A&E if you're really urgent, but I'm like, I don't feel that bad yet, touch wood. Oh, damn it, touch wood. I just want to see a GP.
What happened to you?
I'm not sure if I have a fever. I've been coughing and...
Can I have your ID number?
I'm a tourist actually. My passport.
I got to the clinic a little bit after 10:45, and although there was a lot of people there, I only had to wait 45 minutes and I could see a doctor at around 11:30. They gave me a very good amount of extremely effective medication.
So this is the nasal spray for your nose congestion. This is medication to break down the phlegm for blocked runny nose or flu. This one is for your cough, and this is the paracetamol for fever or pain, 2 tablets 4 times.
And the overall cost was 172 Singaporean dollars or 180 Aussie dollars, or over 40 plates of delicious chicken rice. Alright, that is it for today. If you're a local in Singapore or you've been to Singapore, let me know in the comments below if I've missed anything or if you have any additional tips. It helped me out a lot because I am most definitely coming back to Singapore again. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification button if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!